Hey, good Friday night to you. Moose Vasko here on Sports Radio 670 The Score. Double duty for me the rest of the way here tonight as we take you into Fox overnight. Of course, we've got that first place White Sox team to talk about, so we'll do that with you, of course, at 312-644-6767. We've got, besides that baseball talk, of course, the Cubs are going on right now as we speak. You can feel free to talk a little bit about that if you'd like. What do you want to see from the Bears tomorrow night? And a little basketball conversation as well. Jason Goff behind the glass. Again, we're here for at least another hour or so. Here again at 312-644-6767. So again, congrats to the White Sox. Outstanding stuff from them. Again, as David Schuster just mentioned there in the update, 16 out of 20. And that is an amazing little run. And Kansas City, they lose 4-0 tonight. Jeremy Gonzalez, 8 innings, no runs on 3 hits. So that's pretty amazing stuff. And they are slumping as the White Sox are starting to turn it on against the Oakland A's here in particular. Matter of fact, right now there is an Oakland A on the line with us. That is Mark Ellis, the second baseman. Mark, welcome to The Score.
All right, thank you.
Hey, thanks for taking a couple of minutes. And, well, pretty amazing. You're back in your hotel by now. That thing was under 2 hours tonight.
That's the fastest game I've ever played in my life.
1 hour 53. I was like, was this 1972 all over again? It's Koufax and against, I don't know, Bob Gibson or something. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. Those guys work real quick. Mark Burley and then Mulder for us. Those guys work real quick, and not a lot of guys get hits off them, so it makes for a fast game.
Well, and you have to feel pretty good every time Mulder goes to the bump that obviously you're going to be in this thing the whole way.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, especially tonight. We got 2 runs, off Burley, and then but that's a good offensive ball club, and they earned their win tonight.
And Burley, what's it like to face Burley? What makes it tough to face him?
Oh, he's good. He sinks the ball away from right-handers, and he cuts it in on us, and he also has a good changeup. So, and tonight he had all 3 working pretty good, and he hit his locations real well, and he was tough.
Although you had to feel pretty good early with Durazo going deep and so on.
Yeah, we did. We felt great. We get a two-run lead with Mulder out there. Usually it's a win, but this is a great offensive ball club, and they beat a good pitcher tonight.
So in intensity out there, obviously the crowd was in it because they know the first place is on the line when you're on the road. Does that pump you up as a visitor?
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's a fun place to play. It's a totally different atmosphere than the last time we were here. I think it was April or May, maybe early May. And it's a totally different atmosphere. And it's a lot of fun, especially coming from Detroit. It's
yeah.
It's a very good atmosphere.
Anything compared to Detroit is a good atmosphere, I got to feel it.
Yeah, definitely.
Can you tell a difference in this Sox team from when you played them last?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. It's a totally different team. They're just they're playing great right now. And I'd be real surprised if they didn't win the Central. I think they're the best team out of the 3 that we've played, the Twins and the Royals. I think Chicago's the best team, and I'd be shocked if they didn't win the Central.
Well, because that's all about getting it together at the right time. What about you guys? What do you feel about your Oakland team right now?
Oh, we're very confident. We're playing pretty good baseball right now. We let them slip away yesterday, but just got beat tonight. Against a good pitcher, and we're very confident right now, and feel pretty good about ourselves.
You're not panicking about Barry Zito, are you?
Oh, no, not at all. He's pitched great. He just hasn't had a lot of run support, and things got away a little bit yesterday with an error and then a walk and then a 3-run homer. So I don't panic at all about Barry.
I can't imagine, although I look at his record over the last couple of weeks, and I can't believe it.
Very, very deceiving. I think he's had maybe one bad outing. I mean, we're in one really bad outing. That was against the Yankees. He got hit around a little bit. But other than that, he's pitched very well.
I mean, it doesn't seem like in the American League, other than the Central, that the playoffs are all that hard to figure out right now.
I don't know. I mean, we got the wild card race with us and the Red Sox, and then the West, still up in the air. I think we're 3 games back of Seattle, so it'll be interesting. Come down in September.
How confident are you guys right now?
Oh, we're confident, very confident. We think we're going to play good baseball the last couple of months of the season, and we're looking forward to it.
All right. So, any thoughts on tomorrow? What do you think is going to happen tomorrow?
We got Ted Lilly against Garland. I think it'll be a good game. It might be a few more runs scored tomorrow than there were today, but it'll be a good game.
Hey, listen, Mark, thanks for a couple minutes. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, Mark Ellis, the A's second baseman. Appreciate him taking a couple of seconds and coming on here tonight. And well, it's kind of nice to hear that from an opposing player, thinking that, hey, there's no doubt in his mind that this is the team to beat in the Central number 1, and no doubt in his mind that this is a much better team than when they played them earlier on in the season. All that's encouraging as far as I'm concerned, if you're a White Sox fan. So, again, we want to thank him for coming aboard. Mark Ellis, second baseman for the Oakland A's. And, again, any of your comments on what you just heard him say, or what do you think? How much more confident are you in this team now than you obviously when you were early? And, obviously, if you want to talk a little Cubs, we can do that, too. Cubs are trailing 3-1 right now in their contest. But I would have to be encouraged about the Cubs when you look at Sean Estes. I mean, this is the guy who's battling for the 5th starter position, and, 3 runs allowed. There's nothing wrong with that, I mean, let's face it, guess what? Your 5th starter eventually is going to give up 3 runs. The problem is the offense hasn't exactly come aboard with much from the Cubs of late, so they need Sammy to step up here, and maybe he can take care of business the rest of the way and get this team turned around. Obviously, there was a big home run from him last night. But, again, for the White Sox, first place, I mean, how cool is it that the Bears are starting tomorrow night, okay? And we actually are still talking baseball and meaningful baseball. The Cubs were in first for most of the first half. They're within a game and a half for the moment. And the White Sox are in first place all by themselves right now. How nice is it to be in August talking about meaningful baseball, man? I'm just not used to it, and I'm actually digging it quite a bit. Let's go to the phones, and Brandon's in Zion. He wants to talk a little bit baseball. Brandon, welcome to the Score.
What's up, Moose? How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Well, I was really looking forward to this series because I like old-fashioned pitching duel, and I love Dodger Stadium. I wish Wrigley Field were as spacious as Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, no kidding.
We get beat by too many cheap, wind-blown basket home runs. I think the Cubs, one of these days, are going to have to get rid of those baskets, or they're going to have to move to a new ballpark.
I know what you mean.
You can't build your team around pitching and play in a small ballpark. And Moose,
yeah.
Sean Estes, he only has given up 3 runs so far, but if this were any other team, he would have gotten his ass handed to him.
Yeah, I know. He's been in bases loaded jams, and he's gotten out of them and things.
I mean, the Cubs, usually they play well in big ballparks, but Alex Gonzalez, this guy has got to learn that when you get a breaking ball away of any kind, a curve or a change or a slider, you can't try to pull it. Because if you pull it, you're going to strike out.
Absolutely.
I mean, and isn't it great to have Steve Stone back?
No doubt about it.
I mean, Jack Burkhouse, Steve Stone, Harry Carey. I grew up with Harry and Steve, but you remember Jack Burkhouse.
Oh, no doubt about it.
No matter how bad our team has sucked, we've had some great broadcasters, and I think that it's going to be interesting. But you want to know what? What I want this Cub team to do, even if they don't go to the playoffs, I want them to win a series at Busch Stadium before I'm dead.
yeah, exactly. Well, and the thing about Estes is, if they get to the playoffs, he's never going to pitch.
Yeah.
So, you'll never see a 5th starter if they get to the postseason. So they just got to hang around with him long enough to get it done. So, thanks for calling, Brandon.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
The ball deep in the left center field. Stretch. Burns back, jumps. And you can put it on the board. Yes! A 2-2 tie. A Mag's 22nd homer.
There you go, Hawk, WCIU TV. Had to wait to see if it was going to be caught or not. It was not caught. It was a home run. And the White Sox winner, and it's the first place White Sox. Beautiful thing indeed. Welcome back. Sports Radio 670 The Score. Moose Vasko here taking your calls. 312-644-6767. Cubs are trailing 3-1 in the 8th. So hopefully we'll get some post-game of that one. Right now, though, it's White Sox post, and we're going to go into the locker room in just a little bit. In the meantime, though, Tim's been holding, so let's go to Tim in Davenport, Iowa. Tim, welcome to The Score.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing real good, man.
Yeah, kind of a nice night. Seeing the Sox starting to play a little bit more like what we expected.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
A couple comments I had quick. As far as the starting rotation, looks like they're starting to pitch up to the capability of what we expected, with Burley coming around pitching like he always had, and Cologne, Loaiza, and I think if we keep playing like this, obviously we'll win the division. what do you think our chances are realistically with I got to think that we match up pretty well with these top three against anybody else in the American League.
Well, yeah, I mean, going into a short series, you've got to feel good about those three guys. I mean, and now, who would you go with first? Would you go with, let's see, who would you go with first?
I would probably, the way things are going now, if they're still pitching like they are now, I would probably go Burley, Cologne, Loaiza.
Oh, interesting. Okay, now I had Burley, Loaiza, Cologne, but all right. Why would you go with Loaiza third?
I just think Cologne. After going against the lefty, I think Cologne, if he stays overpowering like he has been the last 4 or 5 outings,
right?
And I guess it just depends. It'd be nice if you win that first one, but I see your point too. I think either way you could flip them around any way you want.
Well, but that's the good thing. That's the nice thing to have. I mean, the interesting thing is neither one of us had Loaiza first, and that's a guy who's probably going to win the Cy Young.
Yeah, he's got a shot. Somebody else we need to talk about, I'm sure you know as well as I do, John Garland's finally coming around to his own, and everybody knows he's young, and he's been really frustrating, and everybody, kind of holds their breath when he come on the mound the last couple of years, but I tell you what, he could very easily have just as many wins as Loaiza.
Well, yeah, I'm starting to feel a little bit better about him. There's no doubt about it. And obviously, he is the fourth man. There's a lot less pressure on him, and there will be once you get to the playoffs. But I agree with you. I think Burley goes in the first game if we get there just because he's been the ace. He is the man. And even though Loaiza's having a great year, I'd kind of like to have him on my back pocket. If something goes wrong, you can pull out the guy who might win the Cy Young.
Well, it might take a little pressure off him. And like you said, that's
exactly.
a good point. If you win that first game and you do, and say you do lose the second or either way, like you said, you have a possible Cy Young winner going into the third game, which is going to match up real well against anybody else.
Yeah, whoever else. Yeah, exactly right.
Another quick point, and I'll let you go. There's been a little bit of rumor and talk about going to this 4-man rotation. Now, right now, when you've won this many games in this stretch, I'm not sure you want to change anything, obviously, but there is kind of probably come a point, because it's pretty obvious we don't have a fifth starter, in my opinion. Right. We haven't had.
No.
There is going to come a point here we need to go to 4, and I just think that's going to just raise our chances of winning series just that much better.
Well, and then the pressure goes to the bullpen, though, and that's the one question mark I have about this team, though.
Yeah, I can see why you do.
Because if you go 4-man, that means you're going to try to get your starters out earlier. You know what I mean? Because you're going to want to save them. So if you've got a 4-run lead in the 7th, you pull Burley. You know what I mean? And then you have to go to the bullpen earlier to try to save him some pitches for the next outing. And to me, that opens a whole lot of question marks, too. So I don't know if I'd rather, roll the dice with a fifth starter or roll the dice with the bullpen coming in earlier and not letting Burley or Cologne go 8 or 9. You know what I mean?
Right. And like I say, the only thing is you could be jeopardizing the possibility how these pitchers are going to pitch in the playoffs. That's a good point I hadn't thought about. The only thing is you got to remember we got some pretty young pitchers. Burley's still pretty young, and Cologne's a horse, and Loaiza is the only one I'd really be a little suspect, because I'm sure you heard the interview a few weeks back when Burley said that a lot of times I feel better about pitching on the fourth day than the fifth, but that's just him. I mean, that's not talking about the other three.
Right. Plus, you got to do what you got to do. But
right.
Well, let's hope we have to worry about a playoff rotation. How about that?
Sox fans got to be feeling pretty good, because I mean it's been a rough road, all summer. I mean, we've underachieved obviously, and now I think we're starting to see really what type of team they have. Now, they could change in the next couple of weeks, but I think and you brought up a good point, we're starting to gel at the right time.
Well, and more importantly, Kansas City's bad right now. They got Mike Sweeney back tonight, and they got shut out by Jeremy Gonzalez.
Right.
So I'm not right now I'm not terribly worried about Kansas City. The Twins are actually the team that's starting to put it together a little bit. But
right, and I think everybody realizes that's the team we really got to worry about. But I'm not taking anything away from Kansas City. I think they're a year or two away, but they just don't have the pitching to compete. I think in a full season.
I hear you. Thanks for the call, Tim.
Hey, have a good weekend.
Appreciate it. You too. All right, let's move along. Let's see. We've got Craig's in Lindenhurst. Craig, welcome to the Score. Craig, you're on. How you doing, man?
Hey, I got to go with Loaiza as your starting pitcher if and when we make the playoffs. I mean, you got your all-star pitcher, your lowest ERA in the American League. You got to go with what brought you to the dance so far right here.
Well, I mean, you can't go wrong either way as far as I'm concerned. That's why you've got 3 guys going awfully well. So you almost, flip a coin. But in a sense, I would rather take the pressure off Loaiza and go with a guy who's been around and been the horse of this staff for a while, and that's Burley. But, I mean,
True.
obviously, if they go with Loaiza, I'm not going to complain about it because he's having the best season. But I kind of like to have a guy who could win the Cy Young in my back pocket in case something goes wrong in game number 1.
Yeah, I guess we should be happy. It's a comfortable situation for us to be sitting in knowing we could count on either one of these guys. That's true. But,
Because let's face it, 2 months ago, we weren't too sure what we were going to get from Mark Burley.
How about it? Going to the last caller, I wasn't too sure what he was trying to strike up with, saying that Garland should have about as many wins as Loaiza. I mean, what's Garland's record? I know he's starting to scratch the surface a little bit, but I know he's not in that category just yet.
Yeah, I mean, he's basically, a 500 pitcher, 8-7 or whatever. So he's no matter what, he's not going to have the wins or shouldn't have the wins. I sort of let him slide on that. But he is pitching better, but no, he's not. He shouldn't have the same amount of wins as Loaiza.
Yeah, he's got to develop that consistency, from start to start. He's not there yet, but, let's keep our fingers crossed. Things are going good right now.
You better believe it, and let's see if we can keep it going tomorrow. Again, cross your fingers, and you get the first 2 against Oakland, and things are going to be a whole lot better. Let's hope.
Yeah.
Let's hope that this isn't just all alone in first place for one day.
I thought this was going to be the hardest game to win against Mulder. Well, I mean, you got that good young rookie pitching tomorrow, but we're looking pretty good right now with the matchups, I think, for the next 2 days.
No, well, I mean, you have to feel good. There's no doubt about it. Hey, Craig, we're going to take a break. Thanks, man.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. We've got a scoreboard update coming up, and then we'll go into the locker room and hear from some of the White Sox about their big win tonight, being first place all by themselves. Moose Vasko in for the rest of the night, and I've got an update for you coming up in just a second. Some open lines at 312-644-6767. Moose Vasko on Sports Radio 670 The Score.
Scoreboard update on Sports Radio 670 The Score.
This scoreboard update sponsored by Power Bar, the Cubs and the Dodgers. Well, the Cubs only have one more shot at this thing. Let's get the update live at the ballpark. Mark Myers. Mark?
Yeah, that's right. Running out of time, and Eric Gagne warming up, and I expect we will see him in the 9th. Right now, L.A. leading 3-1 in the bottom of the 8th. The difference in this ball game, Adrian Beltre's 2-run homer in the 5th off Sean Estes, and that broke a 1-all tie. Cubs have only 3 hits tonight off of 4 Dodger pitchers. Aramis Ramirez, though, did hit his 14th home run. Cubs' 4-game win streak certainly in jeopardy right now. 3-1 Los Angeles, bottom of the 8th. Live in Los Angeles at Dodger Stadium, Mark Myers, Sports Radio 670 The Score.
Thank you, Mark. Meantime, the White Sox a winner over Oakland 3-2, so they're in first place all by themselves. Maggs goes deep. Graffinino a sac fly. Creedy bounces into a double play with the bases loaded, but that was huge. Turned into the game-winning run. Rubel Durazo had a homer for Oakland, but it was a great pitchers matchup. Burley over Mulder. Game only lasted an hour and 53 minutes. Burley, complete game 5-hitter, 6 Ks and no walks. For Mulder, 8 innings, 3 runs, 10 hits, 2 Ks, no walks for the local product. That was his 9th complete game of the season, but Burley gets it done, and he talks about a quick game against Mulder tonight.
I think everybody else enjoys it more than I do. I mean, I just go out there and get the ball and get the sign and throw it. So, I think Mulder does the same thing. So I think every time we've matched up, it's been a quick game. I kind of got chills. I think it was the 7th inning when they started standing up and then running out there. I got chills. I just had to keep mindset, not overthrow and try to throw it by these guys because, I think it was Chavez. I threw a slider. It was right down the middle. I was lucky he didn't swing at it, but I had so many chills going out there. I think I overthrew on that one.
That was Burley also talking about the loud crowd that was late in that game, getting all excited about being now in first place. And they are in first place because Kansas City was beaten by Tampa 4-0. Meanwhile, the Twins win over the Tigers 4-3. Anaheim beat Cleveland 5-2. Texas downs Toronto 5-3. The Yankees beat Seattle 9-7. Doubleheader sweep for Baltimore over Boston 10-4 and 4-2. In the National League, Houston did beat Montreal 5-1, so the Cubs are going to go back to 2.5 out if they lose tonight. Florida beat Milwaukee 5-3. The Braves topped the Cardinals 7-2. It's the 4th inning right now, and Colorado leads Pittsburgh 6-4. 9th inning, how about this for a pitcher's duel? Reds and Padres, no score in the 9th. Mets, they lead the D-backs 2-1 in the 8th. Giants 4, Phillies 1. That's in the 7th. NFL had a couple of preseason games tonight. Buccaneers 20, the Dolphins 19. Raiders edge the Rams 7-6. Of course, the Bears will play tomorrow night against the Colts at 7 o'clock. You can hear it on our sister station, News Radio 780 WBBM. Sports Radio 670 weather, partly cloudy tonight, low in the 60s. Then for Saturday, partly cloudy, high only about 76. Updates twice in our breaking stories as they happen. On Moose Vasko Sports Radio 670 The Score.
is Chicago's #1 sports station. We talk Chicago sports non-stop. And when sports news breaks, there's only one place to be. Here, Chicago Sports Radio 670, The Score.
Yeah, it is Gagne coming out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. One last chance for the Cubs. They got to face one of the best closers in all of baseball. See what happens there. Moose Vasko here on Sports Radio 670. The Score, 312-644-6767. Talking some Southside postgame, some Cubs postgame probably momentarily. The way Gagne's gone of late, we'll see, but maybe they can make a comeback. In the meantime, we go right to the phones. NIU Dave's in his car. NIU Dave, welcome to The Score.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Real good, man. What's up?
How about them White Sox, huh?
How about that first place team?
This is a two-team race, first of all you Kansas City fans out there, your team sucks. I can't wait to go tomorrow night and watch the scoreboard and watch you guys lose and watch us beat the A's. It's going to be beautiful. Sox fans, forget about the strike and all that other nonsense. Let's go out to the game and have fun like we used to. As far as the pitching rotation goes, here's the deal. I think you guys have hit on all the great points. Let's bring it all together. Okay, we got a vet. I believe Cologne pitched in the postseason for Cleveland, has he not?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so you send your veteran out there who's got all the experience, who's just absolutely chunking. He's throwing great stuff right now. Let's see whether he does that in October. Let's see. Put him out there first, and then you send Loaiza out there, and then you send the left-hander up there. That way, if you got a lot of lefties out of the bullpen to back up your righty starters, and if Burley has a problem, then you got a righty to come in out of the bullpen. That would be Garland, Porzio, whoever they bring up, just for like a middle relief type of situation. They got a great playoff rotation, but you got to send the veteran out there with experience first. Let him show the other guys how it's done. Then you go out there with your Loaiza, who's going to get the Cy Young. He's got to win it. Who else is throwing in the American League? And then you send Burley out there. It's a done deal. That's got to be your rotation.
Well, and that's why I talked about Burley first, because of the being a veteran. But you're right. Obviously, Cologne has been around even longer than Burley has, and yeah, boy, he is throwing some serious heat right now. It's not a bad way to start it.
Yeah, I would not want to go up there and face him. I mean, just look what he's done the last couple of games. You can just see him in his body language. You can see it in his face. You can see the way he walks off the mound after a strikeout. You can see that in the Loaiza. Burley still looks a little tentative, although he pitched a complete game. I didn't see the game tonight. I saw the first 2 innings, but he pitched a complete game. Is that right tonight?
Yes, indeed.
So, I don't know. They look really good. The game and a half in first, the two-team race. You just got to beat the Twins a couple more times in Kansas City, Mike Sweeney or not. You know what? I agree with Dan Bernstein. They don't scare me. They don't convince me. I think they're kind of a fraud.
No, I'm not scared about them at all either. I say the Twins are definitely the team to watch out for, not KC. Thanks for the call, Dave.
Great, thank you. Have a good night.
Appreciate it. Yeah, you too. And Cologne, actually, well, again, you can't really go wrong with any one of those three right now, and that's the beauty of it. I mean, they're all pitching really well, so that's no matter who you choose, as long as they keep going, you can't go wrong. Mark Burley on the crowd tonight of about 24,000.
I don't know, we had 25, 30,000 out there. They got into it. They're into it the whole game, cheering us on. It's good too, because we're winning ball games and the crowd's showing. So, I think the guys in the clubhouse really recognize the fans coming out and supporting us.
And he was happy to finally beat Mulder.
He got me the first 2 times, so hoping the third time's a charm. And went out there and gave up just 2 runs early. And going against a pitching staff like the A's have, you can't give up more than 2 or 3 runs.
The key now is to keep it going. We still got a tough schedule ahead, and we should be able to sustain this level of play.
Jerry Emanuel on finally being a first-place team. What's the mood of the guys, Jerry?
Well, everybody feels good. I think for the most part, we're getting to the point where we're expecting to play well, and I think that's what's a good feeling about the locker room right now. We're expecting to win ball games versus expecting to lose ball games, and that's what happens when you win 16 out of 20.
Indeed. Now, Paul Konerko talked about how Mulder was good, but Burley was better.
He was doing his job. Obviously, anytime you give up 3 runs over 8 innings, that's pretty good. But our guy seemed to be just a little bit better. Obviously, we won the game, and we swung it just a little bit better. So it was a great battle. And those are 2 of the best left-handers in the game right now, so it was good.
What does Paulie think about being in first place?
It feels good. It means we know we're doing good things because it's in August and we're in first place. But this game, you can't really ever pull your head up and to see how you're doing, and you can't pat yourself on the back because it'll get you. So you got to just keep your head down, keep playing, and we got a bunch of tough teams coming up. Besides Oakland, who's tough, and we just got to keep playing our game, and we just can't come up for air. We just got to keep going hard.
And again, it was a 1 hour, 53-minute ball game today, Tony Graffinino.
It feels weird, that's for sure. You look at the clock and you're thinking 9:25. This isn't right. But again, it was a great game to be in, a great game to watch, I'm sure, and a great game to win.
And what does Tony Graffinino think about being in first place?
It's good, and we know, obviously, the Twins are not too far behind, and so is Kansas City, obviously. So, we got to keep pushing ahead. We can't really get all wrapped up in being in first. We got to keep playing the good baseball that we're playing and pushing forward.
All right, Tony, on the mood of the team?
It's good. I mean, it's where it should be. It's at the point now where you come to the ballpark expecting to win. And we're going out there against a good Oakland A's team and a great pitcher in Mulder, and yet we still took the field tonight feeling like we were going to win, and that's the way it should be. I mean, that's how obviously that's how first base teams take the field.
A couple more comments from the White Sox locker room from Carl Everett, who made a tremendous catch that robbed Ramon Hernandez of a home run, kept this a 3-2 game.
I saw the ball off the bat. I expected it to go a lot further than it did. And when I got to the wall, it was right there. I just jumped up and caught it.
Now, there has been some criticism of his defense, and he's not too thrilled with critics.
Most critics never played, so they just have something to say. And, they have something to say about that catch, and, tomorrow they'll dog me. So, I never worry about it because, like I said, most of the critics never played.
Yeah, indeed. Carl on being on a first-place team right now.
It's been a long time since that ever happened. It's, as I was telling the guys, just from here, just continue and don't look back. Just continue to play like we're playing. We're playing with, we're playing together.
Yeah, indeed. Carl Everett. So there you go. The White Sox a winner, 3-2. First place all by themselves by a half game over Kansas City, who lost to Tampa 4-0. Cubs lose. 3-1 is your final. The game now in the books. Gagne comes in, gets them 1-2-3. So tough loss for the Cubs. They had won 8 out of 10, so make that 8 out of 11. Their 4-game win streak goes by the boards. And since Houston beat Montreal 5-1, that means the Cubs are back to 2.5 back. So they're not panic time, but it would have been nice to get the W here today. Let's talk Cubs at 312-644-6767. That's what Lee wants to do. Lee's in Morton Grove. Hi, Lee. Welcome to the Score.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good, man.
Kudos to the White Sox, man. But quickly on the Cubs,
yeah.
I understand that he's got Estes out there because it's his friend, Dusty Baker.
Right.
But, Cruz, I think the team would have played better today because they were coming off of a big streak, a long streak, and with Cruz going out there, I think it was a letdown. The guy throws nothing but junk up there, Estes, and I don't know what Dusty Baker sees in him. I know he's his friend. He came from San Francisco, just like he was playing Troy O'Leary and all these other guys. What is he trying to do, win games or make friends? I mean, I just don't get it.
Well, I will say this. I mean, obviously, he only gave up 3 runs today, and that should be enough to win.
He was loading the bases every inning.
I know.
He threw nothing but junk. If it was any other team, they would have rocked him. He would have been out of there the first inning.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, I would rather have Cruz in there myself. But,
this kid throws 97 miles an hour. The reason he just struck out Sammy Sosa, this guy, the closer, he's throwing at 97 miles an hour.
I know.
This guy throws nothing but junk. I don't know what Dusty Baker sees.
Well, he's a lefty. He's got that righty-lefty thing, which drives me nuts. I don't give a dang if you're righty or lefty. Can you get guys out? That's all I care about.
If you're good, you're good.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And the kid showed that he can't come out of the bullpen, but yet he sticks him in the bullpen.
And that's what he said about Estes. He says Estes can't come out of the bullpen, and that's why he's staying as a starter.
Oh, but Cruz can.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I don't know what he's doing.
I know it. Lee, hey, thanks for holding. I appreciate
it. Thanks, man.
And I know you're frustrated, but I will say this. The Cubs got, 3 hits today? So, what? It wouldn't have mattered who pitched. I mean, frankly, because they had 3 hits. Say what you want about Estes. And, again, I'd rather have Cruz starting than Estes as well. But tonight certainly is not Estes' fault because 3 runs should be enough from the number 5 starter to get it done. But when you get 3 hits, you're going to lose no matter who's pitching. I mean, that's just plain and simple. I'd rather see Cruz in the rotation than Estes myself. I think that righty-lefty thing is way overblown. But you can't fault Estes tonight. 3 hits, that's the fault. That team's got to figure out a way to score some runs. I mean, to me, that's just the deal. Will's in a truck phone. Will, welcome to the Score.
How you doing?
Good, man. What's up?
Okay, I got 2 questions. You know, it's not that I don't like Jerry Manuel, but even if we go ahead and win this year, do we retain Jerry Manuel's services? Another question is there anyone in the minor leagues in the White Sox organization that could come up, help us out, you know, little middle relief, or even a starting pitch?
If there was, he would have been here by now.
Oh,
the answer is no. Sadly, the answer is no. And I appreciate your call. The answer to your Manuel question is, if they're in the playoffs, he comes back. I mean, I don't think there's any way he makes the playoffs with this team and they don't bring him back. I mean, they like Jerry Manuel. I mean, let's face it. The only reason he's still here is they like Jerry Manuel. Whether we like him or not, the only reason he's still around is they like him. And if he goes to the playoffs, they're not getting rid of him. I mean, it's just that simple. He may still be around even if they don't make the playoffs. That's, he's here and he's going to be here. Simple enough. We'll take a break. We'll come back, have some open lines. It's now Cubs postgame. They fall tonight, 312-644-6767. Any comments on the ball game tonight? What do we do out offense? You've got to find a middle infielder is what you have to find. Because right now, Gonzo ain't worth a darn, and you've got a backup as your second baseman. I'd love to find somebody who could be a swing man who can play both positions, frankly.
Doesn't it trouble you that Adam Kennedy cleared waivers, and he's a second baseman that could at least get the ball in play?
If he clears waivers and he's not signed by this team, that's not good at all. Would you rather have on your roster Augie Ojeda or Adam Kennedy? I mean, that's a no-brainer, man. They have to find somebody who can play one of those positions. I mean, there's no doubt about it. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Moose Vasko here, Sports Radio 670 The Score.
That ball hit a long way to right. Sean Green drifting back. He's at the wall, and Ramirez goes the other way for a 1-0 Cub lead.
They're singing, go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go!
Now they went to defeat today. That from Fox Sports Net. 3-1, the Cubs fall to the Dodgers. Bears fans, legends of the game in Wheaton and Batavia is where you'll find authentic autographs of Urlacher, Ditka, Butkus, and Walter Payton, as well as quality supplies to display your most treasured collectibles. For more information, call 630-752-4072 or visit them on the web at twolegends.com. That's the number 2legends.com. Let's check out that Cubs box score. Here in the Cubs posts for the Cubs, Kenny Lofton, 0 for 4. Ramon Martinez, 1 for 4 and a strikeout. Sammy, 1 for 3, struck out and walked. Moises, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Wow, that's very unusual for a Lou. Aramis Ramirez, 1 for 4. He had the solo homer. Karros, 0 for 3 in his return to L.A. Gonzalez, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Vasko was 0 for 2 and a walk. Pitcher Estes 0 for 1. Glanville came off the bench 0 for 1. Boy, that's just ugly. That's just ugly. Man. Ricky Henderson 1 for 3 for the Dodgers. Paul DeLuca, or LaDuca, I should say, 1 for 3. Sean Green 1 for 3. Burnitz was 0 for 3. Beltre 1 for 4. He had the big home run. Robin Ventura was 1 for 4 today. He scored a run. Struck out twice. Let's see. Gilbert Cabrera at second was 2 for 4. Cesar Asturis at shortstop, 1 for 3 today. He had an RBI with a sac fly. Andy Ashby, the pitcher, was 0 for 2. Guillermo Mota came on, 0 for 1. Pitching-wise, Ashby, 5 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 5 Ks, and 2 walks to lower his ERA to 5.20. Andy Ashby's horrible. He's horrible. He's 3-9 now. How do you let him 3-hit you? That's just pitiful. Guillermo Mota, no runs, no hits, over 2 1/3. Now, obviously, he's got some good numbers, but come on. And then they had Martin got an out, Quantrill come on, got an out. Then Gagne, 1-2-3 with 2 Ks in the 9th. He's got 39 saves. His ERA is $1.58. Man, he is just automatic. Sean Estes today, 7 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total on 8 hits, 6 Ks, 4 walks. His ERA to 5.53. Then Remlinger, 1 inning, It was perfect with 2 Ks, so he was great. That was good to see. I mean, Estes was in all sorts of trouble, but he got out of it. So I can't fault him. He's the number 5 starter. You give up 3 runs out of your 5 starter, that's what's supposed to happen. I mean, I'd rather see Cruz in there too, but you can't argue with the pitcher. It's just 3 hits against Estes, man. That's pitiful. You can't do that.
At least some history was made tonight. Eric Gagne sets a Major League Baseball record with 39 consecutive saves to start a season.
So when I say automatic, I mean automatic. 39 to start the season. That's frightening. That guy, of course, he's frightening looking, so that doesn't really surprise me, but that's frightening stuff. Well, we've got Fox Sports Overnight coming up. Don't forget tomorrow. It all starts bright and early at 6 a.m. Chip Porter's World of Fishing. Chicagoland Golf from 6 to 8 with Phil Cozen and Dave Baum. And that's Baum and Rosenblum from 8 until 10. Rosenblum sticks around. Rosie from 10 until noon tomorrow. I'll come back at noon and do updates from noon until 6. George Hoffman has the show from noon until 4. Hawk Harrelson will be on there tomorrow. Then Don Pearson will talk some Bears as well. Jesse Rogers comes in from 4 until 8 with all your Bears pregame coverage. The Me and Z show from 8 until midnight. Of course, after the Bears game, they'll have your full Bears postgame on the Me and Z show as well. So, again, that is coming up all day tomorrow here on The Score. So a little bit abbreviated Cubs postgame tonight. Of course, on Fridays at midnight, we get you to Fox Sports Overnight. I'm Moose Vasko. As you said, I'll be back tomorrow at noon with your updates 4 times an hour for 6 hours from noon until 6. Thanks to Jason Goff. Again, I'm Moose Vasko. Have a great night. Sports Radio 670 The Score.